neighbors, this is Richard Purnell here. Welcome to another exciting, exhilarating, fast-paced, well, probably not fast-paced, but welcome to another episode of comics. Speaking of episodes of comics, before I get into this one, if you haven't seen the last episode I uploaded, literally I think yesterday, I'll put a link down below to it, check it out. It's basically a 14-minute comic book review bonanza. I'm reviewing like 8 or some books, and I'm trying something a little bit new with the show comics, and so I'd really appreciate some feedback. So go watch the episode, tell me what you think. This face would appreciate it. So anyways, in today's episode, I am here to review a movie, and that very movie is probably my most anticipated movie of the year, the movie I've been craving for ever since I first heard about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to review Man of Steel. So obviously I have seen Man of Steel at this point, and I actually went to the Walmart premiere night, but the real question is, how was the movie? And you know what, I'm gonna say it right now, before I get into the whole spiel. I'll just give you kind of an idea of my solid thoughts on it. It's a flawed movie, it's not perfect, but I enjoyed it. Among the mixed reviews on as far as which side of the fence I'm on, I am on the positive side of the fence while understanding the negative side of the fence, if you understand my metaphor. So Man of Steel is brought to us by director Zack Snyder, Mr. 300 and Watchmen director himself. Hot off his stint on the that oh-so-fantastic Sucker Punch movie. And what Man of Steel is, it's another superhero origin story, but it's a superhero origin story told in a different way. In fact, I would really hesitate to even call what Man of Steel is a superhero movie. Like, that's how different it is. At the end of the day, I'd actually call it a science fiction movie straight up, with like little elements, if you will, little tidbits of superhero-ness in it. And the movie stars a whole slew of well-known, well-established, fantastic, Academy Award-winning, and worthy actors. Going down the list, you got Russell Crowe as Jor-El, Kevin Costner and Diane Lane as the Kents, Amy Adams as Lois Lane, Michael Shannon as General Zod, and of course, the newcomer in the cast, the man playing the Man of Steel himself, Mr. Henry Cavill as Superman. Now, as I said, this movie, Man of Steel, is a flawed movie, but I didn't leave the movie not liking it. But for the review, I'll start with the flaws. I don't normally do that, but because I am saying this movie isn't perfect, here's my reasons why I don't think it's perfect, or why I don't think it's the most amazing thing ever. For one thing, I think the movie, especially in the first half, is a little disjointed. I mean, in the first half of the movie, you have like kind of 3 separate storylines, and you know, it was a little jarring when they were going from this storyline to this storyline to this storyline. And the action sequences, and this criticism I actually kind of made fun of a little bit, because, you know, Superman Returns got so much beef for being so actionless. But I do have to agree with some of the criticisms that the action does get a bit much at times. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's intense and it's exciting at times, and it's even incredibly well done. It's just sometimes it's a bit much and a little repetitive. But to be honest with you, those are only like my really 2 big gripes with the movie. Like, nothing else truthfully bugged me per se. Now, as far as the things I liked about the movie, for one thing, I loved the performances by everybody in the cast. Particularly 2 actors who I normally never say are people that I like. I normally am like kind of on the side of people that don't really like these 2 actors, whereas everybody else kind of likes them, and those are Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner. They truthfully 100% nailed their roles, especially Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe was, in fact, the standout in this movie. Go figure, you know, it's Father's Day weekend, and, you know, the best characters in this movie, from my perspective, the performance-wise, is the dads. Go dads! Henry Cavill, alright? Superman himself, the guy nailed it. I thought he was great. Visually, he looks the part, and all of his emotional beats, I just thought he did an amazing job in the flick. You know, again, like, as I was saying earlier in the movie, it's a little disjointed, but regardless of that, the emotional impacts, because of the performances in that opening bit, worked for me. I felt what the characters were feeling. Same thing with, and again, because of the performances, especially Henry Cavill. And honestly, I really hope they do go through with a Man of Steel sequel, just so I can see more Henry Cavill as Superman, because he fit the bill for me. Amy Adams, she was definitely, I thought she was fine. I didn't think she was amazing as Lois Lane, but I thought she did a good job. She, I actually thought, was probably the most well-written of the characters, and she has like a lot of the best lines in the movie for me. Probably the one performance that I was a little underwhelmed by was probably Michael Shannon as General Zod. Not to say that he was bad in any way. I thought he did a great job, just I thought his character was not really like all that menacing, all that, like, he wasn't the greatest villain in the world. The best villain in the movie was actually Feora, the Kryptonian female lieutenant or whatever to General Zod. I mean, she was badass. She was menacing, and she was like taunting Superman like during the big Smallville battle scene. Oh, she was cool. So as I said a little bit earlier, Man of Steel is more of a science fiction alien first encounter movie as opposed to a superhero movie. And this is something that is not the only difference about this movie. There's a lot of changes. There's some that's more on the surface, and there's some that's more story driven. Yeah, there's some changes in this movie that honestly I can see other people maybe being bothered by, but I wasn't bothered by it at all. I mean, a lot of the changes I kind of went with and just said, well, okay. I won't say what, because I'm going to try to be a little bit spoiler free in this video, but you'll definitely see some changes. Even if you haven't read Superman and maybe you just followed the movies, yeah, you'll notice. Action wise, yeah, this movie, holy crap. holy crap. But no, like, in all seriousness, yeah, the action is a bit much at times, but there's a lot of times when it's just flat out amazing and entertaining. Especially that last big climactic battle. Now, speaking on that, this is something I should probably address right now before I finish this review. There's something that happens in this movie that is pretty shocking. I certainly didn't see it coming, and a lot of people have been pretty upset about it. One particular person who's been vocally upset about it and heartbroken about it is Mark Waid. But here's the thing, it wasn't something that truthfully bothered me. But I can definitely say it took me a little bit to kind of just try to figure out how I felt about it when it happened. But at the end of the day, you know, for me it felt like there was much more to the scene, and it wasn't just like, it's hard to talk about because I don't want to spoil it, but it's not something that ruined the movie for me, but I can understand if it ruined the movie for other people. Overall, alright, Man of Steel, not perfect, alright? Totally flawed. But regardless of the flaws, and regardless of, you know, maybe some of the detachments from the comic, as far as like some of the changes that they've made, I personally found myself really satisfied with this movie. I was entertained, the performances were great, the story was pretty cool, and you know what? I'll probably end up buying the movie on Blu-ray when it comes out. It's probably, I would definitely say it's probably my favorite Superman movie. Final rating, Man of Steel from this guy gets a 4 out of 5. Maybe a little generous, but I'll give it a 4 out of 5. So kiddies, in the comment section below, what did you think of Man of Steel? If you saw it, did you like it? Did you hate it? Basically, which side of the fence are you on? Also, at this point, what would you say your favorite Superman movie is? Is it any of the live action movies? Is it any of the animated movies? What would you crown best Superman movie of all time? Britannia Horzos, that's about it for me. Don't forget to like this video. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, directorscutradio.com, and Tumblr. Links are all down below. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you like my face. And favorite the video because I like it when you do that. And I'll see you guys next time with a brand new video. And happy Father's Day to all them dads out there. Bye, bye, bye.